Again, today's top stories. London has endured another night of German bombing. Most damage was concentrated in the East End. The RAF has struck enemy aerodromes in Le Havre and the Low Countries. In Russia, further German losses are reported around Leningrad. In Asia, the American fortress at Corregidor is still defiant, but Japanese forces are reported nearing the Burmese oil fields. And that concludes the news summary. We now return you to our music program. London has endured another night of German bombing. Most damage was concentrated in the East End. The RAF has struck enemy aerodromes in Le Havre and the Low Countries. In Russia, further German losses are reported around Leningrad. In Asia, the American fortress at Corregidor is still defiant, but Japanese forces are reported near...
See here, this isn't about your dedication. Pringle certainly attests to your loyalty. No, your dismissal stems from the Titanic mission. That failure can no longer be ignored, especially now. I am sorry, but someone must shoulder the blame. The service, you understand. We can't be held responsible. The past, forever locked in regret. But what if the past could be changed? "30 years have come and gone since the night that saw the end of a world, my world. The service needed someone on the Titanic. They chose me. I was to wait for a signal from my contact, so I remained in my cabin. I left only once Georgia was on board. And that's when it came. There'd be no second chance. It was Sunday, April 14th. Too late, you see, for the Titanic, for me. What if I'd met with my contact, prevented disaster? What if the past could be changed? What then?
Good evening. I am Smethels, your steward, and, if I may say so, it is good to see you up and about. You've been in your cabin the whole voyage. A touch of the mal de mer, was it? Seasickness can be quite unpleasant, especially if it's one's first crossing. Since you haven't been out of your cabin, may I instruct you on how to get assistance while on board the Titanic? Very well. Your correspondence. 2,200 on board, and they all want messages delivered promptly. Even if it is 1912, and the Titanic, the most advanced means of sea conveyance ever devised, I still have only 2 hands. Here, a map of the ship for you. Compliments of the White Star Line. I have taken the liberty of indicating your cabin, C-73. Of course, on a Sunday evening at this hour, there won't be many people out. Will there be anything else? Have you unpacked? You'll find your trunk key in your bag on the bed. If you require additional assistance, please ring the bell by the door. Good night.
Majesty's government has assigned an agent of the Crown to rendezvous with you on board the Titanic. Remain in your cabin until your contact gives you further instructions. After completion of all your assignments on board, book passage to remain on the ship and return to Southampton for your next assignment. For a more in-depth report of the international situation in the spring of 1912, please review the white paper included as part of this briefing. That is all. His Majesty's government.
Hello. Don't think we've met. I'm Leyland Sekum Trask, metaphysical scribe and evangelist for the supernatural. I've been in London attending a conference on premonitions among the sensitive. Sensitives, or psychics, possess increased powers of perception. A gifted psychic can take a personal effect from a complete stranger and tell you all about them. This is a ship of destiny, which I think you know. There's a range, of course, but given the right training, psychics can reveal information hidden to others. Good night.
Glory be. It's about time. You're late. Another 5 minutes and I'd have cancelled your mission. Look at this. A German colonel named Zeitel. He's inspecting their embassies in Havana, Washington, and Mexico City. We know better. 10 days ago, the Bureau got word that Zeitel has in his possession a priceless copy of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, stolen 2 months ago in Paris after its purchase by a very highly placed member of His Majesty's government. The Rubaiyat's a book, a collection of medieval Persian poetry, a passion of His Lordship's. Poetry. Persians. The German High Command must think it's important enough to have their top man smuggle the lot on board. Of course. Didn't they tell you anything? His Lordship's watching this very closely. Very closely indeed. I wouldn't fumble this chance either, unless you fancy spending the rest of your career in some grotty Midlands back office shuffling paper about. No. He's with a protégé. Name of Heidelitz, I believe. The two spend a great deal of time in the Café Parisien. Nibbling pastries. Get into the wireless room. I don't know or care how. Officer Morrow wouldn't let me in. See if Zeitel's received or sent any telegrams about the Rubaiyat. You've got a cryptograph in your trunk. It'll unscramble the German codes for you. You use the brains God gave you. Watch people. Listen. When you find the Rubaiyat, knock on my door. Cabin F, 34. Use the second-class stairs. You should be set. Remember, this is your big chance. Don't fail.
You came after all this time. It's Georgia. I'd heard you on board. Where have you been? It's been 5 years. I'd have waited a lot longer to see you again. Why didn't you tell me where you'd gone? Dina hadn't a clue, nor did Jack. My letters were returned. Just like you to show up now, with everything such a beastly mess. You must help me. You've no doubt heard the rumors. I won't deny most of them. I can't. Even if the money's gone, I won't give the diamonds to Charles, never. These are all that remains. My insurance for a new life without Charles or Saoirse. Saoirse? The owner of the Barbican Gallery? We're friends. Of a sort. He's sailing on the Titanic, taking some paintings to New York to sell. Please. I mustn't talk any longer. Take it. Take the necklace. It's my only chance now. Keep it for me. And don't tell Charles you have it. You can't know what he's like.
Come here. Don't you love this sea air? Really clears out the sinuses. Max Seidelman, Philadelphia, PA. Buyer for Haymaker's department store. The Sharpie of Spruce Street, they call me. You a sporting type? You look like the sporting type. Come on down to the smoking room for a nightcap. Riviera's looking for someone to play a few hands of blackjack with him. What do you say? Not much else to do. Not tonight. Brr. Cold as a cast iron commode out here. So, what do you say? Great. First, let's swing by the Parisian Cafe. There's a man there named Zeidel, a German. Claims he's a businessman, but he's got something up the sleeve, all right. I know the type, believe me. Dollars to donuts, he's in some racket. So come with, why don't you? We'll hit the smoking room from there. Hey, Colonel, how you doing? Willie? Like you to meet a friend.
A pleasure. Heidelitz and I, we welcome diversion during such an uneventful passage, don't we, Willie?
Certainly.
Willie is at the University of Vienna, dissecting children's fables.
Cultural mythology, it's quite interesting. So only a junior professor, I tried to interest Dr. Freud. He's a genius, and
Yes, I am sure, quite. On the passenger list, it says you embarked at Cherbourg. Yet I have not seen you with the others. You were there, were you not? I see. You are British. Not so many of you in Titanic's first cabins. These days, most of the rich are Americans. Businessmen like Max. Tell me, why do you go to New York? Business. How interesting, considering the British are not so good at it. Me? Inspecting our embassies. Imperial Germany desires to make a good impression in North America. Willie is continuing on, to the west, to conduct research on Aboriginal customs.
the Indians, they are fascinating.
Yes. However, I place faith in science, not superstition.
The Colonel was saying this wireless stuff's revolutionizing everything, sending messages to each other. It's the end of books and newspapers.
Like the Titanic, a technological triumph. Here we dined in comfort while racing along at 20 knots. It's still tied to the outside world by the wireless.
That reminds me, Colonel Seidel, when I go to send you a telegram, they told me it was to be delayed. There are too many messages. The passengers...
I am sure our guests do not care to hear a detailed discussion of your encounter with telegraphy. Now, if you will excuse me...
Please, excuse us.
Won't you call on us tomorrow? Here, in the cafe. The Linzer Tort's quite passable for a British ship. Stop by. Willie and I welcome it most heartily.
Yes, most heartily.
And before I leave, you must allow me to give you some advice. But do not wander the ship. It is not good, I think, on a ship as big as the Titanic. Good night, friends.
Good night.
See? What did I tell you? What did I say? Them too. Up to something, I'd say. The brainy kid gives me the creeps. What a grind. He should hang out with that little blonde. She's a looker, I tell you. Come on, let's hit the smoking room. I'll introduce you to Riviera. What do you say? Great. Go on up. I gotta see a man about a horse. I'll meet you in a few minutes. Goodbye.
Daisy Cashmore, surely you remember. Oh, you are naughty thing. Don't think I didn't know you'd snuck on at Cherbourg. Smethels told me all about it. The old boy's always dripping with news. Heard about Lord and Lady Lambeth. Ruined utterly. Scarcely enough left for appearances, I'm told. I always liked Georgia. Married Charles for his name and his fortune, sensible girl. But she's made her nest. Now she must live in it. Well... My dear, I have a little favor, a tiny one. Tonight at dinner, a man I don't know was making eyes at me. Be an absolute darling and find out who he is. Look him up in the passenger list. All I know are his initials, GQC. The list's someplace. Find it. I'll wait right here. Ta!
May I be of assistance? The purser. His office is on C deck, just off the forward grand stairs. The elevator, or lift as we call it, has an attendant who can direct you to various sections of the ship. The lifts are located behind the forward grand staircase. Before I forget, Lady Georgia desires to meet with you. She is outside on the A-deck promenade.
Yes, can I help you? Perhaps. As purser, I'm in charge of the Titanic's passengers. Have you a name? If you do, I can tell you their cabin number. Mr. Barbicombe, try cabin A14. Have you a name? If you do, I can tell you their cabin number. Let me check. Aha, Mr. George Quincy Clifford, A27. I live to serve. Very good then. Good night.
Hello. In need of psychic consultation? You know, a medium told me the only danger in my life would come on water. Salt or fresh, he did not say. Damn it all, I wish they'd be more specific. That pipe's been someplace quite humid recently. I'd visit the Turkish bath. Good luck. Good night.
I knew you'd come. Charles received a telegram from the solicitors. Our estate's to be sold off. He asked about the necklace I gave you. I told him I left it with a purser. Don't say anything to him or Sasha. Not him and his group of... Oh, there's much more to tell you. Can you meet me in my stateroom? I'm in B70. It's Charles' custom to go for a drink in the smoking room. When he does, visit me.
Good evening. Third Officer Morrow here. Sorry, the wireless room's off limits to passengers. No passengers allowed. Yes, though the only thing to watch is the wireless room. They just keep bringing up more messages. Wireless telegraphy is all the rage these days. Not tonight, I'm afraid. I've got an uneasy feeling. Something seems wrong. Yes, very calm. No moon. I don't like that. Can't see what's coming. No moon means surprises, as if we don't have enough already. Mr. Ismay, the White Star Line's president's on board. We're walking eggshells round him, I tell you. Though that's nothing compared to the creeping about my brother-in-law's doing at the moment. His entire London office is in an uproar. Tom works in the Admiralty. Seems our plans for troop deployments against Germany disappeared 3 weeks ago. Tom says the big boys have petrified the Jerrys who get wind of it. Could upset the balance of power. Politics. Desktop espionage. Bureaucrats. Pah! Give me the sea. You can toss the rest. Never have. Not since the war. South Africa. Boer War. The officer was a drinker. He was drunk when they trapped us out on the veldt. On a moonless night, it was a massacre. We never saw them coming. Drink always leads to the devil. Then why are so many people thinking about it? An interesting connection. For all I know, it could be true. A man's got his troubles, sick child, being away from home. But I hate whiners and apologizers. Well, thank you for your insight. Have a look, why don't you? Mind you, Phillips will have my head if he catches you in there, but I don't see any harm. Go on in.
A fine night to be indoors, cold as the dickens outside. Cold but clear. Clear as a bell, and the stars, oh, you should see 1,000,000 stars in God's firmament. A congregation of light. The name's Trout. The Reverend Edgar Trout. I'm returning from a mission in Africa, to Sunapee, New Hampshire, where I live. Emily, my wife, she's dead. Thank you. We had looked forward to this journey. But she died at Port Said. Though it was Nyasaland that killed her, the doctors, you know, never did find all the parasites. Calling on Miss Pringle, she has been invaluable this voyage, a pillar. Oh yes, we're very glad she's with us. They say you met Trask. Be wary of him. Trask's a trickster. Take this card, a prayer card, from my own collection. So you must like it, this section of the Titanic. Here, second class. You can get to Scotland Road from here. Do you know it? Scotland Road? Scotland Road runs the length of the ship, from stern to bow on E-deck. It allows the crew to get from one side to the other quickly. I could go to third class if I take the Scotland Road, but I don't believe in social mixing. No, it creates too much anxiety. A place for everyone, and everyone a place. Though some don't choose to see it that way. In the course of my ministrations, I've observed a gentleman from first class, a young German, among the steerage women. Most unnatural. I haven't said anything. I wouldn't want to upset the ladies. Especially Miss Pringle. She seems a fragile vessel. Behind me, through those doors. Wait, before you leave, I was wondering, perhaps you'd care to make a donation to our mission in Nyasaland. I am very happy. Tomorrow we will discuss everything. Good evening.
Hello. In need of psychic consultation? The Reverend Trout's ministrations. He thinks I'm the devil incarnate. This will make someone a welcome gift, I sense. Good night.
I wasn't sure you'd come. First, I want to know how you fared these last years. Rather well from the looks of you. I'm glad to see you. You're the only person I can trust. Please promise me you'll help. Still angry at me? You can't change the past. Let's start over, can we? Begin again? Now, with my life a horrible mess. When Charles discovered my affair with Saoirse, he was quite calm. But I know him, you see. His revenge is taking the necklace, leaving me with nothing. And Saoirse, I'd never trust him again. Don't you see? They're looking for guns, for bombs. Saoirse's friends, his gallery was their London base. They were rough men, foreign. Saoirse told me they were part of a Balkan aid society. Stupid girl that I was, I believed him. But then I found out. These people, they... Charles!
Please, Georgia, continue. Was it my title or my income you found so desirable? I was never sure. Now that both assets are depleted, why don't you go to Saoirse? Maybe he can help, as he's done before.
Ignore him. I see the smoking room's had its usual effect.
Idle gossip, apparently.
You see his attitude? Please, go.
Since she obviously can't depend on me. Here, take the chill out of the air. Thank you for seeing after my wife. Now I think it best you leave the happy couple, drowning in their happiness. Good night.
Remember, I need your help.
Did you get it? Get his name? Clifford. Clifford. Never heard of him. You don't suppose he's rich, do you? You're an angel. And I've news for you, too. While you were gone, Andrew Conkling's been asking for you. Yes, Conkling, the steel baron. God knows what he's been doing in Europe, buying it probably. And where was I? Oh, yes, Andrew Conkling asked me to pass along this. You know his wife Beatrix, the designer. Such an eye! Her clothes preserve the bust line. Couldn't be more flattering. Keeps the eye moving. Much nicer than Worth's. They're friends with Captain Smith. Smith! So handsome, so dashing. White Star's best officer, or was. He's retiring after this voyage. Couldn't be more tragic. My dear, you've blanched. Bad news? Certainly, certainly, I must... It's Mrs. Burbank! Consuelo!
Have you seen Georgia? Don't care for me much, do you? There's much you don't know. Let's discuss it over a drink. Shall we, then? God, much better. Bartender, a whiskey and soda. Yes, much better indeed. Now, you may have heard I am in financial straits. I've borrowed money from Andrew Conkling, money that he is now demanding I pay back. I've none to give. Poverty should remain the domain of the virtuous. I've no taste for it. To tell you. No, I shall fix things first. And without Georgia. Another drink? Another whiskey for, Hope you don't mind if I do. Now, you, want to know some secrets. Thank you, bartender. I'll tell you one. George's diamond necklace. It's a fake. The one on her neck, leastways. I gave the real necklace to Saoirse. It's in his cabin for safekeeping. When he gets to New York, he'll sell it, quickly and quietly, for 20% commission. I'll pay off my debts to Conkling, put Georgia away, sail back to England free and clear. She's unstable, as you know, so I'm placing her in a sanatorium. An easy thing to do, given her emotional history. The law favors the husband in these matters. She can do nothing about it. God forbid the suffragettes really do win women the vote. They'll never know their place again. Georgia, afraid of me? Well, that would be a reaction at least. We no longer evoke emotion in each other. We're husband and wife in name only. Because I threatened to tell Scotland Yard about his Serbian Aid Society, and because Sasha's a greedy bastard, he'd betray his love for 20%. And Georgia thinks she's outsmarted me. No, she's got a fake about her neck and doesn't know. Another? Good night, then. You'll sleep well. The whiskey and the sea are both smooth for a change.
Let me introduce you to Buick Riviera. Remember, he's French, and you know what they'll like. Come here.
Good evening, mon ami. Buick Riviera welcomes you to the tables. I am always delighted to play with friends of Max. You look familiar. We make a meeting before? Deauville? The casino at Monaco? New Mexico. I lived there once. In Diamondback. Such a town. So, have we met? C'est vrai. Then we shall use my special cards.
Good luck. You'll need it.
A game, mon ami? You are the winner. Magnifique. You like to play again? You have won. Well played. Another hand, mon ami? The cards, they played well. I win. Again? Good night.
How you doing? Buick fleeced you too? You know, you're letting me do all the talking. If you don't mind me asking, just why are you headed to New York? Guess we all got our secrets, don't we? See you around, bub. Good night.
Hello. In need of psychic consultation? These, my friend, will surprise you, mark my words. Good night.
Brilliant. You've got the drop location. The boiler rooms. Blast. There's an entrance to the lower decks around here somewhere. Query the lift attendant. He's cheeky, but he knows this ship. Intercept the Rubaiyat before it changes hands.
A passenger? I can't regulate the steam for boilers 1 and 2, so I don't have time for you. You're where you shouldn't be. Get up top, before you're kicked up there. Oh, with White Star, are you? I'm glad you've come. I've got some serious problems with this control panel. Oh, I doubt it. She's really acting up. See? Still working the bugs out of her. See for yourself. Have at it. There's a gauge showing the turbine's power output. The needle's got to move into the green zone. Over here. Smart you were. She's running much smoother now. Say, since you were so interested, go on, have a peek in the engine room. She's quite a sight.
You are a passenger. Excuse me, I would speak with you. Forgive me, I am sorry to intrude on you, a person of such high station. I am Vlad. I have men. I am leaving my home. I am a Serb and they have killed my wife, my children, the Austrians. For that they will pay. But I do not want to burden you. Please, I need a favor. I have a friend in first class, in cabin A14. Mr. Barbican has a package for me. Can you bring it here? Me enter first class like this? No, they would catch Vlad. His name is Barbican, in A14. Tell him you've come from Vlad. He will give you the package. I wait here for your return. Your assistance will be repaid manyfold.
Crikey, how'd you get here? You'll have to go back up. You're not allowed down here. Sorry, passengers aren't allowed to enter the cargo hold.
You found him. Sasha Barbican of Barbican Galleries. Now, what is it that I can help you with? For Vlad? He's on board? Please come in. He did it. I told him not to, told him I'd pay his ticket, but he was too proud. Such a tragedy about his family. They were with my mother's people. Ask Vlad, I don't know. Here, his things. He'll be glad to get them. It's rather late. When Austria took Bosnia, they were killed. Many were. With his family dead, America seems as good a place as any for Vlad. Our history is quite complex. Certainly, Georgia's a woman who does not go unnoticed. Georgia exudes a certain romantic paranoia, a condition, I fear, worsened by Charles' own romance with whiskey. Georgia? Have you talked to her? You be the judge. She's accused me of outrageous deeds, libelous practically. I'm part Slav, you see, a Serbian on my mother's side. Georgia finds such a mixture a source for wild stories. Not much anyone can do, I'm afraid. George is in clear need of a rest. Continuously. One hears there are financial problems. They say Charles owes Andrew Conkling thousands of pounds. Good night, and don't believe what Lady Georgia says. She's not well. Enjoy your voyage.
Hello. In need of psychic consultation? I'm sorry, I'm getting no reading at all. Not even faintly. Good night.
Hello, I'm Conkling. Good of you to come. I trust you're finding the accommodation satisfactory? You're welcome. White Star's anxious for everyone to be as comfortable as possible, particularly on the maiden voyage. Sorry to seem mysterious. You must understand someone in my position, an investor in this ship, needs discretion. You're under no obligation, of course. I have a slight problem. You may be able to help. A servant has stolen an important business document from me, and I must recover it. A few years ago, my wife Beatrix hired a young Irish girl as maid in our London house. We treated her well. 2 weeks ago, she up and left without notice, taking a certain letter with her. I'd given up all hope of recovering it, until my wife spotted her this morning on the third-class promenade. Needless to say, I checked with the purser. She'd been scheduled to sail on the Philadelphia, but those passengers were transferred on board the Titanic because of a coal strike. Government officials, friends of mine, told me a bureau agent was on board. I found you through Mrs. Cashmore, a preposterous woman, but she does have an eye for accomplishment. Look, will you help me? You will be rewarded handsomely. Her name is Shayla Hacker. She's 20 or thereabouts. I was her benefactor, one might say. Yes. This puts me in a difficult situation. This young woman, she could cause considerable damage to me, to my reputation, if she goes to the newspapers. I've gotten word to her to meet on the poop deck. Go in my place. Tell her there'll be no trouble if she returns the letter. Afterwards, report to me in our suite, B59. Her name is Shayla Hacker. Good night.
What did I tell you, Shay? I knew he'd not come in person.
Hush, Jack, hush. Conklin, he did send you, didn't he?
I told you, it's a trick. I knew Conklin wouldn't come. He sent one of his cronies instead. I'm her brother. And Conklin, because of him, Shayla's had to leave everything and everyone she knows.
Jack, don't.
That son of a bitch. She was his maid and all the time violating it.
Hush, Jack. I'll have no more of it. Go on, Jack, say it.
You tell Conklin we have his letter, and he'll not be seeing it till he coughs up a tidy sum, too. 5,000, do you hear? Dollars. Enough to get her started right in America. And if he moves a hand against us, I'll make sure the newspapers get the letter and print it. So tell Conklin. 5,000. Measured against what he has, it's a bloody bargain.
Meet us here again. At 1 tonight.
$5,000, then he'll get his damn letter. Agreed?
We'll be waiting for you.
Yes, can I help you? As purser, I arrange dinner reservations, rent deck chairs, the usual shipboard duties. Have you a name? If you do, I can tell you their cabin number. Mr. Conkling is in cabin B59. I live to serve. That's all then, is it? Good night.
Come in. I'd hoped to meet you earlier. However, my wife and I were calling on the Astors. Madeline's pregnant. Beatrix was thrilled. We have no children. I see. It's a ransom. May I present Mrs. Conkling?
You should pitch the ungrateful girl overboard. Your clothes, French cut, quite fetching. Delighted to meet you.
Beatrix is on her way to California. She's got a new project in... Where is it, dear?
A cow town, someplace called Los Angeles. I'm doing up a little resort there. It's called the Beverly Hills Hotel. So, where is the Irish tart? Dreaming of her newfound riches?
We were just talking about that, darling.
My husband and myself extended every courtesy, showed every kindness to Shayla. We've no children. Shayla became quite dear to us. So her theft hurt us all the more for the trust we placed in her. Don't fail us. Now, excuse me, I must retire. I have a frightful headache. It was a pleasure. Good night. Andrew?
My wife felt strongly about Shayla. As I've told you, we'd no children of our own. Look, you must get that letter. Don't wait until tomorrow. See if you can speak to Shayla directly, without her brother. She's in the third-class cabins forward, on F deck, number 59. Good night. I'll speak to you tomorrow.
that you? I'll be right out. I don't want to wake the baby. Oh. But we were meeting later. Where's Jack? Please, I don't want no trouble. I didn't know the letter was so dear. I just wanted to take something, anything that looked valuable, for the baby. It was Jack who read it. Saw it was bad for Mr. Conkling. He said the bit about selling bad steel would ruin him if it was to get out in the papers. My baby, Eddie. He's the only reason I stood them last month at the Conklings. I knew Mr. Conkling weren't going to leave his missus. I was only a parlour maid, but I didn't care. I was happy to have his baby. Him and Mrs. Conkling, I thought they was so kind, until I found out that Mrs. Conkling was going to steal my baby for her own. Once I had it, she would fire me and take Eddie for herself. She can't have her own babies. So they used me to get one, to get Eddie. When I found out that was her plan, I left. I didn't know the letter was anything. I thought it might hold a pound or two. Anyway, Jack, he says Mr. Conkling got the letter from an engineer up at the mill. Said the mill's been making bad steel. High in sulfur is what he called it. The steel's no good, and they put it in the Titanic. It'd be a scandal if it got out. That's why Mr. Conkling wants the letter back. But Jack, he says Conkling will have to pay us to get it. $5,000. Huh, Mrs. Conkling's probably behind it. All she cares about is a fine name and pots of cash. And a baby. But she won't get Eddie. No, she won't. And if she tries, I'll ruin her. Make her poor as me. Oh, that's Eddie. Bye. Don't forget about our meeting.
Thank you. I must see Mr. Barbican. I've bad news. He will not be happy. I am looking for something. Something very important. But it's not here. You have seen a small... It is of no importance. Good night.
Crikey, how'd you get here? Sorry, passengers aren't allowed to enter the cargo hold. You'll have to go back up.
Did you get it? Did you find the Rubaiyat? Smashing. What have you learned? I was wondering how you got so dirty. There's a spot on your cheek. Yes, right there. You got it. More art? Zeitel's no connoisseur. No, there's something about that painting of interest to the German High Command. I don't have any information about Vlad, but the other fellow, look here. Zeitel's Titanic contact is a London art dealer named Sasha Barbican. They say he smuggles art, and he's not above selling stolen merchandise. The files say he's Serbian, interestingly enough, with links to some shady Balkan groups. Let me see. That's the Rubaiyat, all right. Well done. Leave it with the purser for safekeeping. It shall be undisturbed there. The painting's what Zeitel's really after. You must secure it. Where or how, I don't care. Just find it and bring it back here. Remember, leave the Rubaiyat with the purser for safekeeping. He might also know where the painting's stored. Sneak a peek at his cargo manifest. That should help you find the painting. Cargo stored somewhere beneath the forecastle deck. Things are thickening up quite nicely, aren't they? We've got to get our hands on that painting. Don't fail.
What do you want? Why, what do you know? Not that it matters. I'm much too busy. I must get this message through from Mr. Thayer. Mr. Thayer expects his private train car to meet him in New York, and I can't leave my post. But I need to send this telegram. Help? Yes, it might be helpful if you delivered this message to the wireless room for me. Even better, why don't you send it for? Mr. Thayer is a very important man. So send the telegram at once. And when you have, don't forget to tell me. Very nice. Security is our first priority. I'll put it in the safe. Very good then. Good night. Yes, can I help you? You sent it? Marvelous. I was afraid you'd forgotten. Mr. Thayer will be most grateful. and let them think the purser's not doing his job. I am the purser, and as purser, I am the one who looks after the passengers. Mr. Thayer is vice president of the Pennsylvania Railroad, and it is I who shall inform the Thayers that their train will be waiting. So, if you'll excuse me... Yes, can I help you? Oh, wait, go away, I'm too busy. Mr. Isidore Strauss, he's lost a cufflink, and he's so particular. Thank you. It is a gold cufflink. Mr. Strauss will be very grateful. Yes, can I help you? Wonderful. Mr. Strauss will be quite pleased that I've found his cufflink. I shall deliver it at once. I'm just sure his gratitude will be reflected most generously.
Nobody's allowed to... You've got the keys. You're a carter. Of course you can enter. Right this way. Come to visit your new automobile, have you? Can't say I blame you. She's a beauty. Gleaming like a new penny. Right this way. Mind your head, it's dark in there. You'll find your way from here. Don't blame you for seeing after your automobile. Man's got to protect his investments. You're the second passenger tonight who wanted to get in here. A young German gentleman. He came in not long before you did. Only he weren't looking at no motor car. He wanted to get a painting. Couldn't find it at all. Looked like he was going to jump out of his skin about it too. Blooming art lovers. Well, good night. It's a right honour to help one of the carters.
And Sasha to the ship's stern. They're having a rather heated conversation. See if you can listen in. I'll track their movements.
We've a problem, Zeidel.
Which is?
The Rubaiyat. It was not at your drop point.
You are sure?
Most definitely.
But I put it there myself. What happened?
There's a third party on board. An agent working against you. Against us.
How do you know?
My servant saw them at the drop. They now have the Rubaiyat. This could ruin me, Zeidel, if I were found out.
But we should take precautions.
What about the painting? Did your associate bring it up from the cargo hold?
No, I don't have it.
No? But I put it there myself.
Sasha, I've discovered a traitor. Don't look so startled. It is not you.
You mean Hadelitz, your associate?
No longer my associate, I am afraid. Willy was an intellectual, and intellectuals aren't smart enough for espionage. Now, I must recover the painting and its plans. I fear this third party may already have possession of it.
And Hadelitz?
Thank you for asking. Willy will bring no further harm to the fatherland, I assure you. Let us plan.
Did you get the painting? Splendid. But now something else has come up. That snooty steward Smethels was looking for you. Find him and kick him smartly in the shins. Here's a message for you. Did you get the painting? Splendid. But now something else has come up. That snooty steward Smethels was looking for you. Find him and kick him smartly in the shins. Here's a message for you.
Yes, can I help you? A painting, is it? I'll put this in the safe. That's all then, is it? Good night.
Still wondering? This ship holds a strange fascination for you. Most peculiar. I've a message from a young German gentleman by the name of Hadelitz. He would like to meet you in the squash court. They've opened it for him. Highly irregular, I must say, especially for fencing. Surely he is. The percentage of passengers demanding the courts late on a Sunday night is small. Minuscule, actually. Meanwhile, I shall inform the young German gentleman that you will meet him presently.
Hello there. You again. You seen Hadelitz's gal, Clarice Limehouse? She must have a cabin on D-deck, near reception. And could I receive her in a New York minute? Willie's girl's got some class to her. Main line all the way. Somewhere's on D-deck. Willie came by here earlier. Good night.
Wandering. I had advised you against it. Young people, they listen to no one nowadays. May I help you in your search? I am looking for something as well. Willy van Hadelitz has been most irresponsible. He has disobeyed me and misplaced a favorite painting, one destined for the German embassy. A faux pas of the first magnitude. A rather charming street scene by a young Viennese painter. For someone with insomnia, you ask quite a lot of questions. What did you say your profession was? As I have observed, stay away from German business. Germany wants land, industries, and material, and we will fight to get it. Britain and America will try to stop this, but we will know your plans. And if there's war, Germany will win. But enough politics. This has been such a civilized voyage so far. Let us meet tomorrow in the cafe, yes? The band? They play Strauss so well. Until then, auf Wiedersehen.
The Titanic. So extravagant, don't you think? And so handsome. A German boy. He gave me this rose. I'm Clarice Limehouse. Everyone's gone to bed early tonight. Is it because it's so cold? Oh, it's late. I should go. I must go. Bye.
Thank you for coming. I do not meet so many people on the Titanic. It is a pity. I like the English. I wish I knew more of them. Now you have the opportunity of fencing with me. 3-time champion of my university. You are also an excellent athlete, yes? Colonel Seidel believes it so. The Colonel is very seldom confused about anything. You will play. If you win, perhaps, I relate to you some stories. En garde. Allez. Touchez. Allons-y. Allez, touchez. Allez. Allons-y. Et là. Allons-y. Ah, verdammt. Allez. Touchez. Allez. Sehr gut. Allez. You fence well? The Titanic, how quickly she is moving. The engines are loud here. We are nearing the Grand Banks. The Vikings thought this part of the North Atlantic cursed. Even modern sailors call it the Devil's Hole, a place of deadly surprises. Things aren't always what they seem, yes? Like me, for example, I am German, but I am also a friend to others, perhaps even the English. Another match? Afterwards we can tell more tales. Another match? En garde. Allons. Sehr gut. Allons. Ah, verdammt. Allons-y. Et là. Allez. Sehr gut. Allez. Sehr gut. Allez. Ah, verdammt. You fence well. You are a great athlete. Take this in friendship. May it bring you luck, a thing I fear we shall all need. But if anything should happen to me, I trust you will know what to do. Why do you assume he is interested in paintings? Yes, art. That is what I meant. And you are mistaken. Colonel Seidel cares little for art, unlike his friend Herr Barbicon. I notice he likes old Vienna, for he has many pictures of the city. Yes, art. That is what I meant. And you are mistaken. Colonel Seidel cares little for art, unlike his friend Herr Barbicon. I notice he likes old Vienna, for he has many pictures of the city. Yes, art. You do? Remember, only one thing is certain, and the rest is lies. It is a quote from an old book I had the recent opportunity to read. But I tell you more. I am associate professor at the University of Vienna. I document the mythos, the legends of mankind. I'm on my way to New Mexico to study the Yoni Indians under Dr. van der Plaars. I am interested in what Dr. Freud calls the unconscious mind, what happens below the surface of experience. Tell me, what frightens you more, fire or ice? The ancient Aryans believed man would see 4 ages. According to them, this is now the Wolf Age, an age that ends with ice. After the Wolf Age ends, mankind shall experience a fire that will burn for 2 generations. Clearly a metaphor for a war we must all try to prevent. Yes? If the fire comes, my friends will favor the English over Germany. Another match? En garde. Allons. Et là. Allons-y. Et là. Allez. Allons-y. Allez. 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 Allons. You are a great athlete. Very good. You have proven yourself, and I must confide in you. Colonel Seidel suspects I value my friends more than Germany. He's right. Another match? En garde. Allons. Verdammt. Allons. Verdammt. Allons. Touché. Allons. Allez. Touché. Allons. Allons. Et là. Allons. Et là. Allons-y. Touché. You are the loser. How unfortunate. Another match? Let us meet later. I will tell you more. For now, keep the ring. I bid you good night.
You've arrived. I was expecting you. I was just holding court with these two ladies. Honor and glory. Crowning time. They say 100 wood carvers worked on the Titanic. Such effort. Now in such danger. Yes, for the ship. And for a mutual acquaintance. I visited with a very nice woman in second class, a Mrs. Hart. Won't sleep a wink at night, she says, because something dreadful is about to happen. She believes to call this ship unsinkable flies in the face of God, and such arrogance will be punished. She should join the Bureau. I see your friend, Willy von Haderlitz. He is in very great danger. The ring. Yes, did you notice the Russian characters on the inside band? Willy has a hidden life. There's a girl, a pretty girl. Haderlitz knows her. Show her the ring. She'll help you. Good luck. Good night.
Yes? You want something? It's Willy's ring. Willy, what's happened? Something bad, hasn't it? Something to Willy. He told me if I ever received this ring, I was to know that whoever gave it to me was a friend, and to tell them about the notebook, that they should find it. Willy's hidden a notebook on board, that's all I know. Now what about Willy? Is he hurt? Oh, he told me jokes. Bad ones, but he made me laugh. Not like Mama's friends. Mama, she doesn't like Germans, unless they've a title to their name. But I like Willy a lot. May I have it? The ring? Thank you. I'll never forget this. Willy's in trouble. Please help him if you can.
Do you have the painting? Get it and bring it to me.
Yes, can I help you? What can I do for you? Thank you. I shall return with your valuables in a moment. Here you are. By the way, Miss Pringle left word that you were to meet her immediately in cabin F-34. We really don't condone this sort of thing, not on an English ship.
Quickly, there's not much time. Willie Hadelitz is dead, electrocuted in the Turkish bath. I heard one of the officers talking about it. This may not have been an accident. Apparently, someone wants that painting badly enough to kill for it. Do you have it? Smashing. Splendid job. Look here, on the back. It's a plan for Allied troop deployment in France. If Germany ever invaded, they'd have destroyed us. No wonder Hadelitz was killed. Well, Berlin won't get this now. Leave the painting with the purser. He'll keep it with the Rubaiyat. Young Hadelitz, a Tsarist spy? It's beginning to become clear. A notebook. Zeitel's previous mission was aiding a band of Russian revolutionaries called Bolsheviks who want to overthrow the Tsar. The Germans would like nothing better than to see chaos in Russia. I'll bet that notebook's got names of Russian radicals. Such a list would be very important to the Okhrana, the Russian secret police. With it, they'd root out the Bolshevik ringleaders and eliminate a threat to the Tsar, which would certainly help the rest of us. Quite possibly. We need more information about the murder. If Hadelitz was murdered, you'll need protection. Here, this pen releases a single burst of knockout gas when opened. Find that notebook. It could be vitally important. And give that painting to the purser. Go investigate the situation at the Turkish bath. Move.
Can you feel it? The air has changed. It's clammy, cold, like the ice caves in the Eiger. But you're not here about climatology. What do you want? I don't think his death was an accident. He has double-crossed the Colonel. That may help you. A painting. The artist clearly no master. Take it away. It makes me uncomfortable. A gas pen, how clever. Don't point it at me. Goodbye. I'll be here if you need me.
Yes, can I help you? A painting, is it? I'll put this in the safe. Glad to be of service. Good night.
What have you heard? Anything? Tell me. You knew him? Look. Don't breathe a word to anyone. This was just a simple accident. Ismay is going to raise hell when he hears. And I thought this would be an easy trip. Talk to Smethels, his steward. Say the man came down here after using the squash courts. Be my guest. Mind you, it's not pretty. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Most regrettable. Most regrettable indeed. The young German gentleman, dead. In the electric bath. Quite unanticipated. He was alive. Most vocally, too. Just a few hours before, arguing with someone on B deck. The gentleman's voice was unfamiliar. About a painting. He'd misplaced it. And the other gentleman wanted to know where it was. Yes, I believe Dr. O'Loughlin is waiting to move him, so as not to alarm the other passengers. It is, I must warn you, a most unpleasant sight. Yes, I believe Dr. O'Loughlin. Very good. This is most irregular. Most irregular indeed.
Christ almighty wonder! You has a face ache, ain't you? Rooming the ship, poking your nose into everyone's business. Just who do you take me for now? One of those la-di-da millionaires up top? Jack Hacker keeps his word, honors his promises. When I saw you coming, I says to myself, they'll be wanting to know about him. The foreign gentleman, German I suspect, a rabbidy nervous type he was too. Gave me a bob and told me to tell whoever asked to repeat a phrase word for word. You want to hear it now? But still the vine her ancient ruby yields, and still a garden by the water blows. Yeah, that's it. Here, he wrote it down. What's it mean anyway? Some rich man's game you play? You can have it. Just tell Conklin we want the money tonight.
Another clue. The Titanic was never christened. Very bad luck for a ship. They say that when building her, a worker was entombed in the hull. And though we've 2,000 on board, the Titanic is only half full. The world's wealthiest men, Henry Clay Frick, J.P. Morgan, the Vanderbilts, canceled their trip. They know when to listen to their gut. The vibrations of the astral plane are quite strong. Whatever happens will be quite interesting. Aha! The ruby out again! But still the vine her ancient ruby yields. What's red and old? Still a garden by the water blows. Still a garden by the water blows. We're on the water, obviously. And a garden means plants. Where's there a profusion of greenery on board? Figure it out. Goodbye. I'll be here if you need me.
J.P. Morgan, he owns the White Star Line. He was to be on board. At the last moment, he took the cure in France instead. Why do you suppose? Has the ship sprung a leak? I'll scare myself to death. Everyone knows the Titanic's unsinkable. Why, it's the Harrises. You know, the Broadway producer. My dear, I simply must run. Lovely chatting with you. Goodbye.
Don't mind if I do. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, I always say. Gave a pack of these to the German kid early tonight. He's an odd one.
While we was docked in Queenstown, I saw him on top of one of the smokestacks.
The last one, right at the top. Who knows what he was up to? Looked like he was hiding something. Crazy crowd kid.
Please leave me.
Yes, can I help you? As purser, I arrange dinner reservations, rent deck chairs, the usual shipboard duties. Have you a name? If you do, I can tell you their cabin number. The Colonel is in cabin C59. I live to serve. That's all then, is it? Good night.
Hello. Just seeing to the electric. The fuse box there. She said you've had no time to check her wearing. Adek's been complaining about the lights all night. We'll get her straightened right out. That is if I can find me screwdriver. Wager I forgot it below. Dawn now. Be right back.
I say, have you seen the steward? The lights have gone out in my cabin. Damnedest thing. Excuse me, I'm going to get some help. you doing in my cabin? You must leave immediately. You need to tend to your own affairs. Fortunately, you've left my valuables undisturbed.
What now? Another clue? The Lambeth necklace. It will come in handy before the night is over. Goodbye. I'll be here if you need me.
Yes, can I help you? Yes, indeed. All jewels go right in the safe. Glad to be of service. Good night.
God has moved his mighty hand against the wicked. Gambling, lewdness, and a mixing of the classes are repaid with fire. You have heard the news? Young Hadelitz has gone to meet his maker. Or someone else, eh? We can only speculate, can't we? They say the electric bath has never malfunctioned before. Believe me, it wasn't the voltage, but the cleansing work of the Lord. I'm looking forward to talking with you about the mission. God needs your help. Thank you so much. I will call on you tomorrow. Good evening.
Oh, surprised me you did. It's a lonely post here. Cold adds to it. Night watch. I'm here for a couple more hours.
Yes, what now? This area's off limits. No passengers allowed. Ah, my binoculars. Thank you. Borrowed them from Fleet earlier tonight. He's up in the crow's nest. Hope he has another pair with him. Oh, guess I left them somewhere. Thanks again. Good night.
She's still running rough. You're so clever last time, you cared to have a go again. Right, there's a gauge showing the turbine's power output. The needle's got to move into the green zone. Cheers, mate.
Interfered in my affairs for the last time. You are the one who stole the Rubia and Sasha's painting. I know you have it. Prepare to die at the hands of Serbia.
think that notebook is for me. Please. I cannot tell. The agents have our secrets. Thank you for finding it. Willie would have appreciated your effort. Cold, isn't it? I've maintained climate is the crucible of civilization. Culture blooms in the temperate. It is the tropic and Arctic zones which breed barbarism. Russia, for instance. In that notebook are names of anti-Tsarist Russians, revolutionaries living in exile. Germany supports these men. They are called communists. We provide assistance, small courtesies, and, wherever possible, financial encouragement. One of these men is moving to Krakow soon. Charming city, Krakow. We urge Willie to befriend such types in Vienna. He kept a list of such men for us, or so I thought. He was a Russian agent who was going to turn those names over to the Okhrana, the Russian Secret Service. Dave would kill them. Secretly, of course, but kill them just the same. Think. With the revolutionaries all dead, the Tsar would be secure on his throne. That should not be allowed. Not when there are wars to be planned for. Now then, the notebook. An iceberg. They've run into an iceberg. The idiots! I will be taking that notebook now. Thank you. These names won't be disembarking in New York. Neither, I am afraid, are you.
It was a poor shot, that. You'll live. But for how long is the question? We've struck an iceberg. The incompetents, the idiots! That was an hour ago. The captain's called women and children to the boats. It's serious. She's sinking by the bow. She's got about an hour left, maybe a little more. The Rubaiyat. And a fine time I had getting it back from the purser. It's safer with you now. I've the painting. Take it. Here's your necklace from the purser. Zeitel must have hidden the notebook. Perhaps it's in his room. Cabin C, 59. The notebook lists the names of Russian radicals. The Germans actively encourage Lenin and other revolutionaries. You must recover that notebook. This information is vitally important to our Russian allies. I know you're hurt, but the Titanic's sinking. It's not going to be easy. The lifts have been shut down for good. We must get the evidence off the ship before it goes. So, up we go. Now get cracking.
You had wanted this? Not quick, are you? Willie's names stay on board, and not with the Russians. A pity about the Titanic. She's going to sink, you know. I have it from Andrews, the builder. Poor fellow is in a state of shock. He is giving her about another hour at best. Make yourself comfortable. The bomb on the sofa will take care of everything else. What remains will go down with the ship. With, it appears, most of our fellow passengers. I will leave the notebook with you. A little bedside reading. Now, please excuse me. You think so? Excuse me, will you? I have an appointment to keep. Goodbye.
get me to leave. I'm not going. I'm not leaving Willie. I want to stay near him on the ship. We met here in the lounge the first night out. He introduced himself. Willie was so kind. Not like Mama's friends. They just want our money. I'm staying with him. We went for a walk that night on deck. There were so many stars, just like tonight. I told him you can't see the stars in New York. The lights burn too bright. I told him to go to Central Park. I was going to take him to the park to show him the stars. Here, take this shawl. I don't need it. If you get to New York, visit the park. That's where you see stars. That's where I wanted to take Willie. Goodbye.
You are proving surprisingly hardy, so perhaps you'll honor one more request. The evening's last, it would seem. Oh, but you must. You could save a life.
The Lady George's, of course. I've poisoned her. If you decide against helping me, she will die.
But if you cooperate, the antidote for her. Why, there goes Mr. Ismay. He's abandoning ship. Not just the women and children. The president of the line gets a seat too. So, will you help? Good. Listen closely. You have the painting, and we both know its true value.
Please, the painting. Hand it to me.
Thank you. And since I am a man of my word, the antidote. And in the spirit of the evening, I will even tell you where she is. Sasha's cabin, A14.
Help me, please. Quickly. God, thank you. Why has he done this? The one Sasha has, he wouldn't let it out of his sight. Sasha ran below, towards the turbine room, to retrieve his valuables. I don't know. Can it matter now? Meet me then, on the boat deck, with the necklace. It's a new start. Go, now, we'll leave together.
Stand back! Ladies and gentlemen, maintain order! Women and children board first!
Prepare to swing out! Lifeboat away, sir!
Bonsoir, mon ami. Sit if you like. Talk to me. The Titanic is dying, but the games are still being played. Even here. Is that why you have come? For a game? To while away the time? My stakes? Why, mon ami, we play for souls. At least a substitute thereof. We must play for something real. Something a man would die for. Regardez. A carte d'entrée. A pass to the lifeboats. With this, you have life. Looks familiar, eh? If you win, it is yours. What do you wish to put down in return? A book? It is a book of value, yes? If you win, you receive the boat pass. If I win, I get the book. You win. Here. Deliverance. Of a kind. Try your luck? Well, maybe I see you again. Before you die. Adieu.
You have the irritating habit of appearing most unexpectedly. Ah, such disapproving looks. And you are wrong. I will leave the ship alive. Get me off this ship and the painting and its plans are yours. I am a patriot, but I prefer to be a living, not a dead patriot. I think Mr. Riviera has given you something, yes? Do we make a deal? The pass for the painting. A deal. But first, the pass.
Say, old bean, absolute madhouse, don't you think? People running hither and thither, no organization, no plan of attack.
Henry doesn't think the situation calls for panic.
Lunatics, all of them, running about like rabbits with a stoat at the hole.
The lapse in social order is absolutely shocking.
Boats! Ha! If I were captain.
Such people, they're not dressed for the first cabin, like those two immigrants on the second-class stairwell. Really, something should be done. The woman's quite upset.
Sodding foreigners!
I can't possibly get in these boats.
I agree. Packing the women off in such crowded quarters.
Frightfully cramped.
Like tinned mullet.
The Titanic is perfectly safe, isn't it?
I say, I'm in need of a gin.
Not now, Henry, not now. The officer there, he wants me in the boat.
They say the smoking room's still open.
Goodness, I do believe I hear running water.
Perhaps we can play a few hands with that Frenchman.
Henry, I do think we should stay here with the boats.
Blast it all, Ribena. Pitch yourself in. I say, old bean, coming with. Suit yourself then. Cheerio.
Nobody's allowed above this deck. Those are orders. Last thing we need's a riot. If you go down there, I can't guarantee you'll come back. It's dangerous down there. I'll try to remember you on the way up. Good luck.
Mrs. Conklin, she's stolen my baby. I was to meet Mr. Conklin, but she showed up instead, demanding the letter. I let her hold the baby so I could get my hands free. I let her, and she took him. She told the steward head he was hers. He wouldn't let me follow her to first class. She's leaving with my baby. Take the letter. Find her. See if she'll trade the baby for it. Please, you're our only hope.
Get that baby for Mrs. Conklin. Trade the letter.
You made it. Now get up on the boat deck. Last thing we need's a riot. Now get up on the boat deck.
What do you want? He's mine now. No one will know. He'll have a good life with me instead of that penniless girl. Leave. I'm getting on that boat. The letter. You have it? It can ruin us. Ruin me. I'll trade you. The letter for the child. Hurry! The letter for the child. Here. Take it. Take it. The letter. Yes, let me have it. What a fool! You don't have a seat in the boat.
Don't push. Keep your hands well inside the boats.
This deck's closed. No one can go up from this point. There aren't the boats for the steerage passengers. They must stay below. If you go down there, I can't guarantee you'll come back. It's dangerous down there. Good luck. If I'm still here when you return, I'll let you back up.
You got him back. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. You did the right proper thing, you did. You got me thanks. Go on. Get up top with my sister and the baby. Save them.
No, Jack, no. Not without you.
Hush now. Hush. There'll be no luck for men like me up top. I'll try me luck back here, in the stern. Get moving.
It's best I be going now. Take me to the boats.
Thank you. I'll not forget this.
It's first class I'm in. I'll never forget what you done. God protect you.
Time's growing short. Try to get the evidence and save yourself. That sailor's threatened to throw me on the next boat. But I can hold my own a little longer. Yes, if it comes to that, but there must be some way to get off this ship. Yes, take the next available boat.
You've not found a boat? It seems I shall not see Sunapee either. This is a test of faith, like the blood fluke infestations at the mission. Unspeakable things. The worms fell, even the fittest. We prayed then too, after Mazan and the bearers fled into the bush. Though Emily did not escape God's plan, tonight is another test. We shall brave the deluge like Noah and his family. Does anyone know how long the great flood raged? Do you know? Exactly. You are blessed with fortune. Comfort Miss Limehouse. She is in the first-class lounge.
Did you see the Astors, Benji Guggenheim? My dear, how could you have missed them? They were in the gymnasium. Leaving? If you see the Astors, do tell them Daisy wants to go in their boat. It'll be such fun. Don't forget their boat. I only travel with the best. Goodbye.
The boats are full. There's no more room. No more. When these boats go, that's it. We're trapped. We'll drown. I'm getting on, you understand? They'll throw out somebody else. I've got money. I'll give them thousands. I've got to get on a boat.
Stand away from the boats. It's women and children. Women and children only. I'll shoot. Come closer and I'll... Women and children first.
He's dead. He's dead. My family, everything, gone.
Protect you.
See what I said about moonless nights? These are the last two boats, 2 and 4. Reassure the passengers. If they panic, we'll save no one. Be patient. There are still women waiting. Look, return here in a few minutes. There may be room. No promises now. Just come back. Don't forget.
Jig's up for me. The sailor who can't swim's what I is. Good luck, mate.
Too late now, mate. Don't you jump. Water that cold will kill you in minutes. Every bloke for himself, didn't you hear? They say the Carpathia's headed for us. Maybe it won't be so bad. Good luck, mate.
May God protect you. Thank you.
last 2 boats, 2 and 4. Be patient. There are still women waiting. Yes, keep them calm. I'll see what I can do. Help the passengers. The last thing we need's a riot. Look, return here in a few minutes. There may be room. No promises now. Just come back. Don't forget. You've done your best to help. Quick, we've space for one more. Get in. Damn it. Now! There's no more time. Get in, you can go. Get in, damn you, it's an order. Tell them we did our best. Tell them... Vlad left the sinking ship without the ruby yacht.
nor did he have the real Lambeth diamonds. The Black Hand never got its funds, money intended to finance a wave of terrorism across the Balkans. One of the intended targets, the heir to the Austrian throne, Archduke Franz Ferdinand. His murder might have started a war. We were lucky. We got peace instead. As for the painting, it left with me. The plans proved useless. In the month following the sinking, the War Office scrapped the proposed deployments in a cost-cutting measure. But the canvas, as the only artifact saved from Titanic, the painting became famous. Along with its creator, a rather spiteful Austrian named Adolf Hitler, who makes a lucrative career to this day, peddling overpriced alpine vistas to the carriage trade. I left the ship with Willie's notebook. Eventually, it found its way to the Russians. The Tsar's secret police were grateful, and the names Stalin, Lenin, and Trotsky vanished from history. The communist revolution aborted. I didn't really realize it then, but that night 30 years ago was one of history's most crucial. Though the Titanic carried 1,500 to their death, a peaceful world would be their epitaph. Our mission was a success. With no wars or bloody revolutions to derail us, prosperity and progress has flowed into every corner of the globe, bringing humanity a security known only to the privileged few before the Titanic sailed. Today, on April 14th, 1942, I am leaving the service to retire in a world at peace. One can only imagine how different it could have been, would have been, if we had failed.